सोमवार की सुबह में आप सभी का स्वागत है। ये है एक बार फिर रेसिप्रोसिटी मॉर्निंग फ्रॉम वेस्टर्न होटल गुड़गांव और आज मेरे साथ हैं सुरुचि। सुरुचि रन्स एन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्कूल वेरी इंटरेस्टिंगली कॉल्ड द अर्था।
It was a lovely, an hour that we've spent together. The energy in this room is so good, and there's so much of camaraderie here. You don't see that, so I really enjoyed the time that we spent today. So I'm going to talk about resilience, building personal resilience for yourself and your organizations, because as entrepreneurs, that is something that is really important given the highs and lows that we deal with every day in our life.
और आइए जानते हैं सुरुचि से। सुरुचि, वेलकम टू द शो एंड टेल अस मोर अबाउट योर स्कूल फर्स्ट।
So, Artha School of Entrepreneurship was set up to solve the problem of scale. I have worked for over 25 years in startups myself, gained a lot of, personally and professionally a lot, and we thought that we should come together and do something and give back to the ecosystem. So my co-founder and I, T.N. Hari, who now is no longer associated with Artha, but we were together for 2.5 years, thought of building something that would help entrepreneurs overcome any element of scale wherever they were stuck. But before that, of course, our target audience were people who had already built their idea into fruition. They had a product, people were buying that product, and then we would come in and run this workshop called Artha Scale program that would help them overcome elements of scale in some areas that we were running.
तो दोस्तों, अगर आपके पास भी एक बहुत खूबसूरत बिजनेस आइडिया और आप उसको स्केल अप करना चाहते हैं, then the link is in the description and you know who to contact, because scaling and building a resilient business organization is very important. Tell us, ma'am, today from your presentation, I learned a lot about creating resilience within and also in your organization. Show us some light on the subject today.
So, like we were talking earlier today, when we are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, everything is sitting on us, and we live in a lot of stress in our life, and every day we are trying to solve problems that keep coming at us. Now, to be able to do this with strength is to be able to acquire the skill of building resilience.
Of course.
And therefore, we came up with about 4 or 5 things, built a framework for resilience. It's not so necessary to act, 10% is knowing the framework, but I think 90% is to be able to apply it to your life every day. So we thought about 5 things. We talked about 5 things today. Building self-awareness, both internal and external, because once we know our own strengths, we know what we are good at, what we are not good at, we will be able to deal with life in a better fashion. In a situation where there is trouble, we are able to bring out our best because we are operating from our strengths.
Absolutely.
Second thing we spoke about was uncluttered thinking. Being able to ask insightful questions, being able to ask why, not getting muddled in our thoughts. We talked about strength of character, because doing the right thing is important, even if it causes short-term pain, because in the long term you're building a reputation for yourself, and you're building trust in your customers by operating from character. And then finally also we spoke a little bit about having a well-balanced mix of, aggression towards building your organization, or being competitive at the same time, being collaborative, having empathy, so that you can build an environment that is positive and trustworthy.
Of course. And one mantra she gave, and it really got my attention, was the sign.
Yes.
So can you tell my viewers what sign is all about?
WeWorks called itself a tech company and brought in this new dream of people working. They opened offices in 51 countries, all continents except for Antarctica, and they were selling this new dream of working, beer after this, that, and so on and so forth. And they were valued at $47 billion in their own internal valuation. And when they planned to go IPO, Goldman Sachs and others said that you could probably get a $90 to $100 billion valuation. So I'll give you another example. In the German military, and there's a story that who are the people who make the best field commanders? So if you imagine a 2x2, Okay, on the x-axis you have hardworking on one side, lazy on one side, and on the y-axis you have smart on one side and stupid on one side. So you have combinations of smart and lazy, smart and hardworking and stupid and lazy. Now, which person will make the best field commander? So sign was, stands for four things. S stands for success. What has brought you success in the past, personally or professionally? What are the habits or traits you have or actions you have done that got you that success? I stands for instincts. What do you get instinctively drawn to again and again? G stands for growth. What has given you growth in the past? What actions have you done that you've seen you grown as an individual and as a professional or as a leader? And N is the inherent need you have that you keep going back to. As you evaluate this, you are able to build and become aware of who you are and what your key strengths are and how you can use them in the world.
So before we finish the show, my final question on behalf of the audience is that if somebody is a young entrepreneur and if he's got a great idea and he's designing to scale up the business, what will be your advice to such people?
So, when you have an idea, that is really the toughest thing to do, because that idea, that baby of yours, you have to bring to the world. And I think what I would do as taking an idea out to the world is to really wear the shoes of the world, identify who my customer is, who I'm making this for. Am I really solving a problem, or is it something that is in my head that is a nice thing to do? Because your idea is not going to succeed outside if you're not solving a genuine problem. It is very important to know that you're solving a real problem for the world, for your target audience.
Well said. और अगर दोस्तों आप भी एक young entrepreneur हैं तो Reciprocity comes as a great platform of networking. That is where I met Suruchi, and there are new connections met every day at the platform of Reciprocity. So if you are interested to join us, do send me a DM and I will get you on our next coffee meet. Thank you, Suruchi, for joining me on the show today, and it was a real pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. So grateful. Thank you.